It's time to talk local football or the football on court, and we headed straight to somewhere around the city of Ayobo, where the annual Fasco Cup, the 17th edition, is already going down. Yes, the competition already is started, and yes, there are seen plenty of actions. But let's go straight to the very opening day, where Ofiel Football Academy is set the ball rolling against VFS FA, and then that match ended 3 goals to 1. DK, we were both there. We saw the whole action. It was actually a good match for all to see. But I think what I saw on that day was more of a team that is a work in progress, talking about the VFS boys against a more matured side in the Ofiel FA team. But overall, VFS didn't do too badly.
Yeah, looking at the match, VFS really tried because they looking at a very, very young side, you understand, and that sometimes that experience matters and maturity also matters. So I think that's what often FA has, over VFS. And the game was a very, very interesting game, a very, very nice game. And the VFS midfielder scored a very great goal.
Yes, one of the brightest spots that we can actually take out of that game. That's equalizer from VFS.
And that was
actually a fantastic one.
And that's one of the best goals in the competition so far. A very fantastic goal. Kudos to that midfielder.
Quickly on that same day, in that same group A, Dr. Watt and that team called Austin Tiger, they played out a goalless draw in that one, meaning that at the end of the first round of matches in Group A, Ofiel FA are right there at the top spot, while Dr. Watt and the other team, Austin Tiger, are well placed in the second position, while VFS are right there at rock bottom. Does that mean that Ofiel FA should make it out of that group stage?
Looking at the group so far, Dr. Watt and Austin Tiger are not a very, very bad side because of the match against them, Dr. Watt and Austin Tiger, the physicality, the experience, the talent displayed that day was so fantastic. And I don't think it will be an easy one for Ofiel FA. But giving it to Coach Akara, his experience in the grassroots football, we tell a lot in that team and in that group.
Quickly to Group B, where Lion Heart happens to be a more or less an home team because they make use of that same Iowa Sport Arena, the one popularly known as Echo Field, as their training ground. They are one of the few teams that train on that particular pitch. So they played against them two-story All-Stars, and they had to come back from a goal down to win that match by 3 goals to 1. While Confirm FC, a very old Confirm FC, I must say, they played out. They were battered by Maradona by 5 goals to 0. But I think in this group, on the evidence of the first match of DK, I think Lionheart looks good for the second round. And probably the second spot should be more of a party between two-story and the Maradona FA. Or do you think otherwise?
Well, looking at the matches so far, because I was there live to watch it and to grace it, Lions also have a very, very good side, two-story also, and then Maradona FC, But Confirm FC, looking at that side, they are a very, very, good side, and as you can see, I think Lions have escaped through because I think their next match is against Confirm FC, and that's a straight win for them. Then the two-story and Maradona will have a fight, and they will see who qualifies out of that round.
Straight to Group C, where the Ecadis Santos game happens to be a local derby, an Ogun State derby to be precise, because both teams comes from almost the same axis. But that game had to be postponed because of the heavy downpour on the initial date the game was scheduled for. But Shank FC that they were able to play their game. They defeated Franco by 2-1. But the rescheduled game between El Cadiz and Santos has eventually been played, and El Cadiz defeated Santos in an absolutely commanding performance, 3-0. El Cadiz should be in control of this group D.
Now looking at the match so far, let me just take a glance through Cadiz and Santos, because I was really disappointed in that match, because I was expecting a very great fight from both teams, but it was an easy win for Cadiz, because like you said, it's a derby. But Cadiz had a great game and they make great use of their chances. And looking at Shanks and Cranko, I'm looking forward to that Shanks FC, because their defense line, they understand how they play. Because looking at that setup, I think they play with a 3-man defense at the back, and they understand how they move, go and back. So I think we should look great at Shank FC too. It's not going to be easy for Cadiz in that group too, but I'm looking forward to Shank FC in that group.
In Group D, New Generations and the Dazzling Stars played out a goalless draw. But another highlight of the tournament was how the NPFL All-Stars, the star-studded MDM, now how they take dismantle, discombobulate, tear City Tigers apart. They made City Tigers look like mere schoolboys. 6-0. MDM on this evidence might be unstoppable. DK.
Well, it's not going to be an easy fight, because you can't see, because they won 6-0, and see it's going to be easy for them, because now other teams are looking up to them that this team, I wouldn't know him.
They are the team to beat now.
Yes, because they're star-studded, and they say this team, I wouldn't know him. So because there are a lot of good players, I think other teams will be motivated to do that. This group, we have to beat them. It's not going to be easy for them, because New Generation also, they are not a very bad team in the life of Alaba, Akilabi, Adewale are also great players in that team, and it's not going to be easy for MDM. And it's also so bad for City Tiger, because the experience in that MDM and the way MDM play, level past level.
They not really, there's no sign of comparison at all. There's no reason for comparison at all.
Level past level.
Between the two teams.
Yes. So.
In Group E, the Young Lion FA, the junior side to Lion Art, played against Oyinbo FC, and they came back from a go down to win that match 2-1. In that game, a certain Farouk, nicknamed Messi, was absolutely a standout in that game. And overall, you really want to give him kudos to Coach JJ and his very young Lion FA.
Farouk, what a great player, what a fantastic player. It just happened that guy did Nigeria, my brother, because that boy is the next thing we are supposed to be talking about. The way he played games, the way he understands the attack,
and that he even represented Team Lagos in the just concluded National Sport Festival. Says a lot.
Yeah, we have to look out for that boy, because he's a very great talent up front. His decision making, the way his short range, his short accuracy too is also fantastic.
And look at the second goal he scored.
Very fantastic.
The Messi run. When he went past the challenges, link up with the point man talking about the one probably known as Opago in their the other match in the same, talking about Group E. Junior Milan defeated Bash FC 3-0. Left to me, Bash FC weren't too convincing in that game. They even got a late-minute penalty to get a sort of consolation, and they still lost it. The penalty was so woeful.
It was a really disappointing performance for Bash FC, because we are not expecting that from that side. But I'll give it to Young Milan. Young Milan just their chances and they
Junior
took
Milan,
it.
you want to say?
Yeah, Junior Milan rather. Sorry, they had their chances and they took it. So that's just how football is played.
In Group former champions, 11 Lions, the trade tackle with IJB Foundation, yes, and they were defeated by that very well formidable IJB Foundation by a lone goal. IJB Foundation scored a goal in the first half, and 11 Lions never recovered till the end of that game. And if we really want to look at this 11 Lions compared to the 11 Lions we've been seeing before, it seems as if there's still something not really working in this 11 Lions setup this time around.
I think they need to go back to the drawing board and see how they have done in the previous year to this year, because it was really disappointing for them, because I never expected this from 11 Lions.
The one disappointing part of their setup is the lack of options on the bench, because at the end of the day, Coach Akpan made just a single substitution, even when the game was crying for a change.
Like I said, they need to go back to the drawing board and see how they have done it previous year to this year, because it's very bad not to have option on the bench. Definitely, if you are playing your game, I don't know what they're thinking about.
Previous semi-finalist TIG-FC, they came back from a goal down against the New Stars to win that game 3-1. It was clear to all and sundry, everybody present on that day, that New Stars only lost that game to nothing but inexperience.
Exactly. You know, football experience matters a lot. Experience matters in football very, very well, and I think that's what TIG has over New Star. You know, TIG, they are not new to this competition. Unlike New Star, they just came and they are not looking bad. New Star are not looking bad, but let's see how it goes in that group for New Star.
Ibia Willa Day. This is exactly where this is what we've been waiting for. Group G, and that is where we have our darling Treasure at Dominion Football Club. Treasure Dominion, your Treasure Dominion, let me put it that way, came up against Ejo FC. Ejo FC started like house on fire, like they were going to blow you guys apart. Got the first goal after several misses, but at the end of the day, Treasure Dominion put their hearts together, equalized, and at the end of the day, won 3-1. What will this be doing to Treasure Dominion's confidence? What will it be doing to your side's confidence going forward in the tournament?
First of all, I go talk say football leo. Honoring the crowd last one, some of our players were panicking because it was
that is what Fasco is made of. That is what Fasco is all about. It is being called Ali Mosho's own World Cup for a reason.
You know, this is our first experience. You can't really blame us, you know, and coming to that big competition, a lot of people are expecting a lot from us, and some they are expecting our downfall. So I'm so happy that we won the match, and kudos to my coach and my teammates, you know, for their performances in that match, you know. Kudos. And talking about the confidence of the team, now our confidence is like this. You understand? Because
it has increased from, let's say, 40%.
Yeah, exactly, because the win is a boost for us in our next match against Leye FC, and I know that we are going to skip through in that match.
You and I know that if you should start the same way you started against Ejo FC, you might not be second time lucky. Not every team will be as wasteful as Ejo. Yeah.
You know, like I said, why it happened, because it's our first experience, and I know that my teammates now have learned a lot in that match.
And I know what exactly.
In
that same group, Kogbagidi FC, yes, they defeated Leye FC by 5-2. That is to tell you, say, some teams are not smiling at all. Both teams talking about Kogbagidi and Leye FC at a point were reduced by one man each. Their players given a red card at a point in that game. Kogbagidi wins against Leye. What will he be doing to Treasure Dominion and Ejo FC's chances? Knowing fully well that Treasure will be up against Leye FC, who seems to be a wounded lion now. while AJFC will be up against Kobagidi, whose result and performance against Ileye only proves that they should be one of the tournament's favourites.
I looked at the two teams because I was opportunity to watch the match against Kubagidi and Leye FC. They're also a very good side, and Leye FC are also a very good side. And now that Leye lost, they will want to come out strong against Treasure Domino FC, and I assure you, we are also ready for them. I can't really say much about Ejo, you understand, but they also seem to at least put a fight against.
You don't go talk much about you now. This I don't be there. What you mean?
Well, I would say that they should put a very good fight, against Kubagidi, because I also believe in them that they can win that match.
You believe in nature that they can win Kubagidi?
Of course. Anything
coming from the convincing part of your mind.
Yeah, because they lost the match, and I know they won't let their fans down this time around.
Okay, in Group H, Ofiel FC were up against that team called Adwaka Sports. I think for those who do not know, Adwaka Sports was actually a late inclusion to replace Wilson International, who withdrawn from the tournament for very, very important, peculiar reasons. Adwaka, they started like a team, they played like a team. They did so much chemistry, so much synergy, understanding, team movement. But at the end of the day, just like so many other teams in this tournament, finishing let them down in that game. And OFLFC at the end of the day showed them how it's been done. Showed better maturity, better composure in front of goal as they won the match 4 goals to 2 at the end of the day. It's not even about the result now. It is about Ofiel FC. Anything Ofiel, like I said before now, going into this tournament, they are always favourite. So much expectation from them. With the way they've started again. The other Ofiel FA started on a winning note. Ofiel FC too, as a one, though they started a little bit slowly, allowing hard work to have their way in the early stages. But at the end of the day, they did enough to win that game. Should we say, with what they started, that it should probably be their year?
Well, looking at the match, the way Aqua Sports started, like you said, if they have a great finisher, it could have been a different result.
Absolutely.
So I would just say Open FC to work on their team right now, because with other teams it might be a different result in that group. You understand? Because the Gracia is also a very good team. Lucas FC2 is also a good team. So they need to start working now on how their team will be stronger, because looking at that team, they are favourite to qualify out of that group.
Lucas FC, yes, they came back from a goal down to defeat last year's runners up, the Gracia FC, 2 goals to 1. And I'm telling you, the Lucas FC boys, very young, but very interesting going forward. They were skillful, they were intelligent. Their play on that day was absolutely laudable. And this makes it more tricky in that group, because it will be very, very difficult to just stick your neck out for anybody, especially now that Adwak and the Gracia have started on a losing note. They know how important winning their second match will be. But DK, overall in Group H, Ophel has 3 points, Lucas with 3 points, Ophel with a superior goal difference. Adwaka and the Gracia are yet to secure any point. How do you think this group will play out at the end of the day?
Looking at the group so far and the matches we have fought so far, you understand it's not going to be an easy group, and this is another group of death. I hope Open FC make it out of that group.
You hope Open FC makes it out of that group. Yeah. Is it because you have a soft spot for them, or you just feel they have what it takes to make it out of that group?
Well, first I'll say Coach Godry have experience in Fasco, and he has what it takes, to take this team out of that group. So that's why I'm saying, experience also matters in football. And looking at the side so far, Coach Quadri have edges above all other coaches in that group.
All right, just on Friday, second round of matches in the group phase already started, and in the second round of matches in Group A, Austin Tiger, yes, they walloped VFS FA. No be moi at all. Under that reign, 1, 2, 3, 4 goes to 1. Now waiting Coach Suru and the boys job this time. But I'm very sure no disappointment at all on the face of Coach Suru and his side, because this is actually a learning curve for them, because this is more or less a team that is under process. It is a work in progress. But now that Austin Tigers won that match with that goal margin, does it boost their chance of making it to the next stage? Haven't gone against Dr. Watt.
Yeah, looking at the match so far, Austin Tiger has played against Dr. Watt, and this match they should definitely make it to the next round, because their physicality is so fantastic in the competition so far. So I'm also wishing them to make it out of that group.
And one of the matches of the group stage, which happens to be the biggest game of that Friday evening, happened between OVLFA and Dr. Watt. And I'm telling you, for everybody, it was a fully packed pitch. One of the reasons why Fasco happens to be a very famous, reputable tournament. Despite the raining evening, the pitch was full almost to its brim. Despite the weather, the both teams talking about Dr. Watt and OFLFA, it gave us a thrilling, killingly contested game. But at the end of the day, it was the more experienced looking Dr. Watt that edged OFLFA 2 goals to nothing. Did you see that coming, Dickie?
Well, looking at the match against Dr. Watt and Austin Tiger, I saw it coming, because the maturity in the midfield of Dr. Watt, fantastic. Because there's a particular player I saw them in the aka Ateta, his ball distribution so far is different from what I've seen in other players in this tournament. You understand? So I saw it coming. You understand? Because Dr. Watt have a very great team. Looking at that bench too, it was so fantastic. So it was not a surprise to me. I was expecting it, honestly.
Now, with that result of the second match in Group A, what does it do to their chances of qualification, especially of OFLFA? They've won more or less the easiest team on paper in that group. Their next opponent, talking about Austin Tiger, has defeated that same VFS this time around by 3 goals difference, which gives them a earlier goal advantage. With the look of things now, what is left? What is the fate of Coach Jacob Adeshola, aka Akara, and his boys going forward in this group?
It's not going to be an easy fight in their next round with Austin Tiger. They have to tie.
It is now more like a straight battle between OVL and Austin Tiger.
Yeah, you should even do a do or die affair. Going to that match, his message to his boys that this is a do or die affair. We are either winning this match or we die here. You understand? Because Austin Tiger too is not also a hero.
But for the OFL fan, or the OFL, especially the Coach Akara faithful, the news is not that palatable. But because OFL FA now is looking like a house divided on its head. Things within the team, especially within the management of OFL FA, particularly, is not really looking very palatable at all. We just hope they sort their differences, especially between the coach and the team manager. Hope that they resolve their differences for the sake of the team. Okay, there are other fixtures of the second round of matches because, like I said, we are already into the second round of matches in the group phase already. On Saturday, the first match of Saturday will be between Maradona FA, the team that made Confirm FC look like schoolboys. Yes, they will be up against the home side Lion Heart FC. While on that same Saturday afternoon, it will be between two-story All-Stars who lost to Lion Heart FC against the Confirm FC, who are looking like the whipping side of the group. Can either Maradona FA or Lion Heart has a chance of sealing qualification to the next stage? What do you think will happen eventually?
All favor is telling on Lionheart because it's their home ground actually, and also their fans will also be a great support for them.
But that Maradona side that you saw against Confirm FC, do you think the Lionheart can easily walk past them?
I can't really say because Confirm FC is not really test
Strong
for them.
opposition.
Yeah,
I understand.
Because if you look at the match, when they attempt to work out the Confirm old men, sorry to say, they were so tired, and that's when the goals
Started coming in.
So it will also be a great test for them versus Lionheart.
The second round of matches in Group C, we'll see Santos FC after their very shambolic performance against local rivals El Cadiz. They will be up against Shank FC, who started on a winning note, while Krakow FC will be up against El Cadiz FC. With what we saw from the first matches, I think El Cadiz should be able to seal the second round ticket against Krakow.
Even El Cadiz and Krakow, they seem to know each other, and I think that will be a very easy win for El Cadiz. And looking at Shank FC and Santos, I think Santos have to work on their attack because Shank FC defense is very, very solid. Like I said, the three-man defense at the back was so great.
So do you see Santos surviving, getting anything out of this very interesting looking Shanks FC?
Looking at the match, I think a goalless draw or a draw per se would be a great favour for Shank FC. But I don't see Santos winning that match. Looking at their previous match against El Cadiz.
Okay, new generation that will face Dazzling Stars. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Dazzling Stars, they go trade tackle with City Tigers after they don't play goalless draw with new generation. And yes, that's the size of this episode of Football on a Court. DK, it's time to say our byes.
My football lovers, thank you for watching this beautiful episode of Football on Court podcast. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share our page. Thank you.
Yes, that is exactly what we are pleading with you, our followers. Share, subscribe, and continue to push up the gospel of football on court. And to those who have really made this edition of the show possible, we are saying thank you so much, and a special appreciation to our production manager for this episode, talking about Godfrey. Well done, boss. And to everybody in the house today, from Victoria to Stephen, everybody, well done. If you enjoy what we serve you on this episode, why not look forward for another very sweet, interesting episode of Football on Court. But till then, remain sporty.